I am Patricio Meneses.
I haven't got a car of my own, but sometimes I borrow one from friend and drive to see my brother and sister-in-law, who live about 60 miles from London. I have done the journey in all kinds of weather, but the worst time I ever had was on a very foggy day in the middle of November. When I started the drive, the weather was a bit misty, but I didn't think it was bad enough to postpone my trip or to or to go by train, which although it was possible at that time, wasn't very easy or convenient. Anyway, I got about 20 miles outside London, and the mist started getting thicker and thicker. I was getting more and more nervous because I am not a very confident driver at the best of times. I suppose I don't get enough practice. I really hate fog, even when I am not driving, but when you're behind the wheel of a car, it seems 10 times worse, doesn't it? I had to drive extremely slowly, and the journey took me almost an hour longer than it normally does. Finally, I got to the place where I had to turn off the main road into the small country lane which leads to the village where my brother lives. At least I thought I had got to the right lane. After about a mile, I passed a house which I could just make out in the fog, but which I didn't recognize at all. I didn't fancy turning road in going back to the main road because I thought it would be dangerous getting back into the flow of traffic in such poor visibility. I decided to press on and see if I came to any signpost which would put me back on the right track. That was my silliest mistake. The next hour was like a nightmare. I got deeper into the countryside, and the fog got even thicker. At one point, I lost the road altogether and found myself driving across a field through a herd of rather surprised cows. Once I missed by inches going into the rather deep ditch. Finally, I came to signpost with the name of my brother's village on it. It was 10 miles back in the direction I had just come. The next time I visit my brother in November, I shall listen very carefully to the weather forecast before I set out. Better still, I shall get him to visit me.